So good morning, everyone, and welcome to our program. Let's start in a nice comfortable seat together today, whatever that means for you, sitting cross-legged on the edge of a chair, up against the wall, anything that's comfortable so that your spine can be nice and tall. We'll face palms up on the lap, symbolic of being receptive to receive a higher state of consciousness in our practice today. You can close down the eyes to internalize the awareness and the energy of your body. Soften first the region of the belly. When the belly is soft, as you inhale, it naturally expands outward, and it will naturally draw inward on exhalation. The breath in this practice comes in and out through the nose. And for most of it, we're allowing the breath to flow in its own natural rhythm without desire to control or direct it firmly in any particular way, unless otherwise instructed. You might think of your practice like a long train ride to a distant town or city. And really all that's required of you in this practice is to board the train, to be present, and to watch and enjoy as this practice unfolds before your very witnessing mind. In a sense, the destination is already set, so we don't have to worry about making sure that we're controlling every little aspect, but rather we can just sit back and relax and really receive in this class today. And with this posture of sitting back and observing, you might allow the self-inquiry to begin, which is an integral part of our yoga practice. Asking direct questions. What is it that I need most today? What feelings are no longer benefiting me in my life? What am I ready to let go of? And what does it feel like and look like to take a step forward into the self that I wish to be and cultivate? And of course, the central question behind every inquiry is, who am I? Really asking yourself directly, who's looking through these eyes? Who's exerting all the energy in this life? Am I just this body? Am I this personality? Is there something deeper? Who am I? In the world of yoga, this is the Jnana Yoga path, or the path of discrimination or wisdom. And it's helpful for all of us to practice a little bit of this in our postures practice of yoga asana. Who am I? Our last alignment before we step out of our seat is to inwardly lift the awareness and let your posture reflect that. Keep sitting nice and tall, and we'll lift all the awareness to the point between the two eyebrows. Imagine that you had a projector in the center of your brain and that you are casting beams of light beyond the screen of the space of the forehead, way, way out into the infinite space around your body, looking slightly upward and outward. A center of intuition or calm feeling in the body. Feeling if the breath has shifted in any way since you've settled your awareness at Agya Chakra, the point between two eyebrows. If you're just joining, we are drawing the energy and awareness up the spine to rest at the point between two eyebrows. Let's just use a couple of moments here to unite our energy together. The power of group practice is very important in the growth process. So let's feel that our consciousness is uniting together and that we are supporting each other in our practice this morning. That each of our bodies is a channel for a higher vibrational flow of energy and consciousness, and that begins to circulate and strengthen through each one of us as we practice together. All right, we can slowly open the eyes back up. So just another moment here in the seat. Let's take tips of the fingers to the scalp and just begin to circulate a little bit here, rubbing the skin with the tips of the fingers, making sure to cover the entire blueprint of the head, especially the crown, and the point at the base of the skull, top of the spine. And at some point, anchor your fingers in and shift the skin around, a little different experience, loosening the skin from the scalp. Sometimes when we become very fixed in our ways of thinking, the skin gets really tightly drawn on the scalp, almost like a towel or a piece of material pulled very taut. And then just take soft fingertips onto the temples, a little lifting and circling. And then index fingers from the bridge of the nose. Let's just press down through the sinus here. So using the index finger to flush out the sinus. And And fingernails up above the eyebrows and then down beneath the eyes gives a little stimulation to the eyes. Good. And then how about index finger behind the ears, first three fingers in front of the ear, and just reach up and then gently draw with a little bit of inner pressure down. So sort of pulling the jaw a little bit more loosely. Taking long, deep breaths here to begin shifting the energy, tips of the fingers to the base of the jaw, massaging any bound muscle in the jaw. You might unhinge a little bit here. Let's take thumb and index finger to the ears and just a little massaging, loosening here of the earlobe. Accompanying all of these little explorations with long, supportive breath. Whole body relaxed, receiving the benefits of the experience. Let's inhale and free the arms as is natural. And then very gently exhale and drop the hands down by the sides. So we're going to rise into our Tadasana, our standing posture, to join together this morning. So easy does it as you rise out of your comfortable seat. And let's just wake the body. We'll take our left foot out and circle nice and low, waking up the hips. So you can hold on to your hips for a little extra balance. And then reverse the rotation. This is a great way to loosen up the hip. Think of it like an empty coat sleeve that you're just sort of whirling around towards the ground. And we'll go to the other side, a little circling here. Nice gentle waving of the foot. If you need a chair close by or even a wall to hold on to, it can help too, or your partner. And then reverse as you're ready. Nice deep breath here, and let's settle that foot down onto the ground. Take feet a little bit wider than the hips, and we're going to gently reach the arms forward. We'll take a double inhalation, opening and tensing the arms. So I like a little bend of the knees, and then open up wide. So double inhale through the nose, tense as you open the arms, and then relax and release. Again. Nice, smooth, gradual movements. Relaxed, at ease in the heart. One more time. And releasing. Good, let's take soft fists into the heart. And we're just going to repeat some affirmations. I'm positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. I'm positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. I'm positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. Again, I'm positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. One more. Positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. All right, just close the eyes and release the hands down. Shift the weight onto the ball of the foot and feel the wakefulness coming into your body. Repeating inwardly, I am positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. All right, we'll slowly open the eyes back. So we're going to take our first three fingers right to the base of the skull. And just do a little bit of circling here to loosen the muscle. So top of the spine, base of the skull. Little circling in both directions. Good, we're gonna exaggerate this a little bit. Bow the head down and then double inhale and tense into the neck. And release. And then circle, nice strong circles here, loosening any bound muscle. Make sure you get the opposite direction. Let's just take a gentle bow of the head, double inhale and tense back as you shrug the neck. And then release. Last time, circling and loosening. The entry point of prana or life force energy into the body. Let's drop the chin, then double inhale back. Good, and release. And just melt the arms down out of the way. Let's sweep the arms out and around, inhaling great wingspan, reaching into the sky, and then exhale, seal the hands down through the heart center. So the most important function of this practice is to listen for the breath, then move with that exploration, with the rhythm of your breath. So as you feel the inhale extending the arms, it's almost as though the divine is pushing your arms up with the energy of your breath. One more time. Inhaling, feeling that your arms are perhaps moving through a medium of water, so it's very intentional. And hands down through the heart center. Let's reverse the direction here. We're going to inhale and draw the hands up like a spear cutting through the center of the body. And we're going to exhale and open them out and behind and around. So inhale to rise. And then exhale to drop shoulders, leave elbows slightly bent and round the shoulders out. So again, inhaling. And then exhaling, dropping the arms around. One more time. You may not be in the same rhythm of my cues, so just respect the breath and the body and leave the arms down. Good, let's open into the wrists. So take your feet nice and wide this time. We're going to broadcast the arms out nice and wide and circle with fingers open. So just a little circling. You can look left and right, drawing chin to shoulder, and then we'll reverse rotation of the hands. Good. And let's inhale and reach the arms all the way up. Good. We're going to exhale and just bend the knees and descend down only for a moment here just to awaken the body. Then inhale to rise up. Good. And then exhale to settle in, feeling feet firm on the earth. One more time. Good. And then exhale, hands down into the heart center. All right, let's step feet close together and we'll join in half moon pose. So inhale, send arms up and over the head. We're going to press out the left palm and reach up and over to the side. So important, reach up first, then begin to extend over. You may begin to shift weight over towards the left side as you reach more fully, extending through the body. You feel that your heart is caving forwards. Roll the top shoulder back. You may even use the hand. Repeating inwardly or outwardly. Strength and courage fill my body cells.
Strength and courage fill my body cells.
And feel that as a living reality. Feel strength and courage flooding into your body cells. Let's say it again. Strength and courage fill my body cells. One more time with deep conviction. Strength and courage fill my body cells. Slowly come back to neutral. And let's take hands into soft fists and just spiral the hands down as they come down, waking into the forearms. Good. And then reverse the direction, come all the way back up. Hands seal right down through the heart center. Good. Let's reclaim our energy. Inhale, send them up into the sky, and we'll reach up and over for half moon pose on the opposite side. So if you use your left hand, you can push underneath the right hand to find greater extension. Come onto the ball of the foot for readiness in the practice. This will keep our energy flowing upward, repeating, strength and courage fill my body cells.
Strength and courage fill my body cells.
Say it with a smile. Strength and courage fill my body cells. One more time. Strength and courage fill my body cells. Awesome. Let's take another deep breath before we exit the pose, extending through soles of the feet, all the way through the length of the body, and then very gentle coming to neutral. We'll seal hands down in prayer through the center of the body. Let's just take a moment to release the palms and close the eyes and sense. Draw energy and awareness to the point between the two eyebrows. Nice deep breathing. Repeating inwardly, strength and courage fill my body cells. Let's slowly flutter the eyes back open. We're going to come into a balance pose. into our dancer's pose. So shift weight onto the left foot, and we're going to reach and try to catch our right ankle into the hand. So if you're unable to catch the ankle, just leave the foot down on the ground with toes pointed, and you can still come with us raising the hand. If you can catch the ankle and the hand, first step is to start by matching both knees together. Then you might be able to begin to hinge forward, leaning and kicking into the backhand. Nice deep breathing, finding one single point to focus on, repeating the affirmation while moving through life. I am centered in myself. While moving through life, I'm centered in myself. When you're gazing outward, notice if the gaze is looking down, if it's looking neutral, or if it's slightly lifted. And let's return to a lifted experience, looking slightly upward while moving through life. I'm centered in myself. When you're ready to, releasing the back foot down to the ground, we'll take a slight bend in the front knee and we're going to come right into Muktasana. So arms up into the sky, freedom pose. When we're centered in ourselves, we are free. The affirmation for Muktasana, I am free, I am free. Good. Say it with calm feeling. I am free, I am free. One more round. I am free. I am free. When you're ready to descend, hands come and seal back into the heart center. Let's just go ahead and rock right up onto the left foot, and we'll lift our right knee any which way that we can. If you can hold the knee, draw it in towards the body, and sit nice and, or rather stand nice and tall in your spine. Good, and then we'll exhale and send that side down. We're going to come right to the other side of our dancer's pose. So catching left ankle in to the hand. Remember, first place to start is to match the knees, and you'll feel the front of the quadricep muscle beginning to activate. Then you can extend the top arm. If this is too challenging, just step left foot to the ground on tips of the toes and keep reaching upward. Kicking into the backhand, you may venture to start hinging forward, exploring as you reach in both directions, kicking into the hand and aspiring through the top arm. While moving through life, I am centered in myself. Feel that calm center. While moving through life, I am centered in myself. Relaxing the body and keeping energy flowing into the limbs through the spine. When you're ready to descend, all paths lead to Muktasana. Step that left foot back, slight bend in your front leg, and we send the arms up into the sky. And if you can, and it feels okay on your neck, look to that space between your hands and feel that you're receiving that freedom. Gazing through the point between the two eyebrows. I am free. I am free. I am free. I am free. Long spine here, conducting the great currents of energy flowing into your body. I am free. I am free. Very gently descending with hands into the heart center, sealing that freedom into your heart. Let's go ahead and rock up onto the right foot. You can stand steady or begin to lift the knee, and some of us might be able to hold knee or shin or even thigh. Anything that's available, stand tall through the right foot and leg. Lengthen the spine. And then very gently, when you're ready to descend, let it be measured, calm, and steady. We'll come back to Tadasana, standing posture. So you can rest your arms, rest the whole body here. Let's center our awareness down into the feet, and this will be a guided Tadasana. So shift the weight towards the ball of the foot, slight bend of the knees, neutral pelvis, energy drawing up through the center of the belly, lifting through the solar plexus, blooming in the heart, encouraging relaxation of shoulders, chin slightly tucked towards the chest, and the crown of the head lengthened towards the sky. Repeating inwardly, I stand ready to obey thy least command.
I stand ready to obey thy least command.
Again, we'll do it together. I
I
stand
stand
ready
ready
to
to
obey
obey
thy
thy
least
least
command.
command.
One more time. I
I
stand
stand
ready
ready
to
to
obey
obey
thy
thy
least
least command.
command. All right, we'll take feet back underneath the hips, slowly opening eyes if they haven't already. We're going to move into Garudasana, or eagle's pose. So let's use the breath. Let's inhale and circulate hands up by the heart, and then exhale and broadcast the arms out nice and wide. Good, let's bend at the elbows. We'll start with left side. So inhaling, left elbow on top of right. First stage, hold onto the shoulders. If you can go further, match the back sides of the palms together. And if anyone's body allows wrapping of the hands, feel free to wrap the hands close together. So if you're holding on to the shoulders, try to touch the crown of your head nice and tall to the sky. Back sides of the palms are matching or wrapped. Push down on the left arm and lift with the right arm, creating a lock, an energetic binding of the arms. Slight bend in the knees may for you to step your left foot over the right as we begin to enter deeper into our pose. Relaxation on the back sides of the shoulders. Very important as you release the shoulder blades. If anyone wants to try the balance, just lift the supportive left foot off the ground. And we'll repeat the affirmation for our eagle's pose. At the center of life's storms, I stand serene. At the center of life's storms, I stand serene. Arms and legs symbolizing the storms of life, the spine symbolizing our inner serenity, remaining untwisted or bound, freely expanding. When you're ready to unwrap the bottom leg or unstep, just go ahead and begin that process. We're going to release downward, so bend the knees and unfurl the arms and use a spring-like quality of energy to inhale and rise up above. Let's let the arms cross and we'll take another round, just slowly moving down and inhaling to rise. And then crossing the arms and coming down and inhaling to lift. Good, one more time. Try crossing one arm in front of the other and then inhaling to rise. Good. Hands down into the center of the heart. To free the shoulders in between the postures, let's just release the hands back and down behind. We'll interlace the fingers and we're going to lift the heart as we relax the shoulders down and together. Breathing long, deep breath. Lift in the heart, lift in the crown. Let the breath work its magic here with calm feeling. This next venture is not for all bodies, but we're going to slowly start to bow forwards here. So bend the knees as much as you need to. If you need to release the hands to brace them on the thighs, feel free. But if you have the freedom in your body to bow the head and rest the hands on the top of the hips, some of us will begin to lift the hands with bound fingers together. The affirmation for forward fold: nothing on earth can hold me. Nothing on earth can hold me. All right, when you're ready to rise, just very gently release the hands. We're going to bend the knees and roll your way up the spine here, leaving the head nice and heavy, nice slow rising quality. If you feel any bit of lightheadedness, squeeze the thighs. Let's inhale, arms up into the sky. Good. Exhale, bend the elbows and separate the arms. We're going to set for Garudasana on the opposite side. So as you're ready, on inhalation, right arm comes on top this time. Center on shoulders first. If you can come to backs of palms or wrap around, feel free. Take slight bend in the knees, and we'll inhale and step over with the right foot, using as a kickstand. If your arms are bound like mine, lift your hands but relax your shoulders. If you're holding just onto the shoulders, stay steady in your pose and keep lifting through crown of the head. If you'd like to come into a balance pose, then relieve the little balance of the kickstand and wrap around the leg or float it above the earth. Good. At the center of life's storms, I stand serene. Feel this as a present reality in your practice. At the center of life's storms, I stand serene. Even as we have weather storms whipping around us, at least we do here in Westport. At the center of life's storms, I stand serene. Gently tending to that inner serenity, we'll unstep the bottom foot out of the way. Same as the other side. Let's descend by bending the knees and bowing and sort of releasing that stress off of the shoulders. And then let the arms cross. Come all the way down. You can even brush the shoulders and just sort of send all of the should energy. I should have been, I should have done something a different way. And free yourself. You might even affirm as you rise, rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. One more time, brush the shoulders and then inhale and rise up. And then let's pause, gently drawing hands down through the heart. You can rest them here in Anjali Mudra or prayer pose. Feeling the energy and the vitality awaken through your practice. Inner gaze at the point between the two eyebrows. Send that light beam of your awareness, broadcasting inward and outward, inward and upward. All right, very gently, fluttering eyes back open. Let's come into our next sequence. If you're not at the front of your mat, take a little walk to the front. We're going to hold onto the hips and just bending into the left knee. Take the biggest step back that you can with your right foot. If you need to take several steps, feel free. And get a nice comfortable stance where the knee is centered over the ankle. We're setting for warrior two pose. So open the hips out to the side here. We're going to draw with hands symbolic of the way that the energy flows in the pose. So inhale and draw up through soles of the feet, draw inner thighs together, lift through the pelvic floor, through the belly heart, then extend the arms. In this version, leave your palms flipped upward. And we're going to look over the top or the front hand, middle finger line. Go ahead and relax your shoulders down and back and get tall in your spine. So you're pushing down through soles of the feet and drawing together through the inside of the thigh. There's a little lock of muscles, mula bandh, at the base of the spine. Feels like a little bit of engagement. A pelvic floor lifting will greatly encourage energy flow in this particular pose. All right, let's turn our back palm down and we're going to wave it down by the side of the body and shift our hips to point to the front and rise into your warrior one pose. Feet stay the same, but hips like headlights pointing in the same direction of your gaze. We'll calmly affirm, I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. Keep lifting through the region of the solar plexus, the center of self-control and willpower. Let it rise calmly. When you're ready to exit the pose, hands come down into the heart center. Hands onto the hips as you're ready, and maybe take 1 or 2 or 3 steps and come all the way back to center. Let's just reset the body by sending arms up to the sky. Take a bow forward, releasing the head to the earth. Good, bend the knees and inhale and roll up the spine. Circle the arms one more time above. And then we'll pause and relax and feel. Hands down by the hips. Notice if there's any difference on left and right sides of the body, especially in the hips. Relaxing and feeling. Slowly flutter the eyes back open. So we'll take hands onto the hips for our step backwards. So as you're ready, this time stepping left foot back and behind you. Settling heel down onto the ground. Let your hips peel open to face the side of the mat rather than the front this time. Your toes are still directed forward in the front leg. Again, let's use hands to symbolize the way that we're drawing energy through the body. So inhale and lift through the legs as you engage inner thighs through the pelvic floor, the belly, the heart, and then extend. Let's leave palms faced up in this version. Gazing over the middle finger line. You might even look into this front palm and it has a sort of quality of beholding. What are you beholding to enter into your life in this moment? And let there be quality there. Good, nice deep breath, lifting through the solar plexus, getting broad in your chest. Lots of concentration. Good, on this side, let's look to the back hand. Whatever no longer serves you, just imagine it as a little ball in the left palm, and we're just going to very simply turn that palm down and release it, and we'll sweep both arms renewed to the sky into our warrior one pose. I attune my will to the source of all power. Feel that great willpower drawing energy into your body. I attune my will to the source of all power. Your fingers like little lightning rods or conductive antennae, gathering energy from above. I attune my will to the source of all power. Again, with deep conviction at the point between the two eyebrows, I attune my will to the source of all power. Hands down into the heart, as is natural, sealing that into the heart center as calm feeling. You can release down to the hips and just start to rock the weight onto the right foot and take a few steps or one big step until you draw back to the center. Good, let's sweep the arms around. And then just turn the palms out and pause here in Tadasana, standing in readiness. Weight on the ball of the foot. Feel the cross currents of energy in the body. Inner gaze at the point between the two eyebrows. Agya chakra. Let's slowly open the eyes and just take the first three fingers once more to the base of the skull, a little circling here. Make sure that there's been no tension that's gathered. Just keeping this window or doorway for energy entering into the body supple and relaxed. Let's take one bow of the head, double inhalation. We'll tense back. Good, and then relax. Let's take hands and gentle drumming on the crown of the head and all over the sides. And repeating inwardly, awake my sleeping children, awake. Awake my sleeping children, awake. If anyone's still sleeping in there, this is the wake up call. Wake them up. All right, good. Let's inhale and reach the arms above the head. We'll come into palm tree pose. So right onto tips of the toes. Reach as high as you can. Squeeze through ankles, inner thighs, glute muscles, belly wall, reaching and aspiring. At the peak of your aspiration, relax the body and remain with deep breath. Calm feeling, energizing the body. When you're ready to descend, slowly turn the palms down to the ground, heels proportionately lowering as the arms come down. Good, all the way down. So we're going to take a forward fold down to the ground. You can take feet a little bit wider if your spine is sensitive, and take forearms to the thighs and then drop the head. Now, if you don't need any of that extra support in your practice, you just release your hands down to the ground. Some of us like the variation of stepping feet closer together underneath the hips. The most important part of the forward fold is just to release the back of the neck and the head. The rest of your spine will follow. Inwardly repeating, nothing on earth can hold me. This is also a nice place to do little massages of the head. So if your arms are free or available to do so, feel free to start kneading or do gentle tugging of the hair, lifting and shifting the skin. Good. And let's take these moments here. We'll do all of our opening of the muscles of the face. So scrunch the eyes close together, wrinkle the forehead, open the mouth and stick out the tongue. Good. Just keep moving through here. If you need to bend one knee or the other, you can even bend knees really deeply and just lay the belly onto the lap. If there's pressure gathering in your face, just come right back to standing. Very gentle, slow transition. Here's an interesting inquiry. On your next exhalation, let the breath naturally hold out for a moment. Just be empty for just a second. The breath is there right when you need it. No gasping. Make sure you release the back of the neck and the head, even if you have to swing it yes here or a little no energy side to side. Willpower and won't power. All right, very gentle as you are. We're going to step our feet back behind us. So just walk your way back into downward facing dog. Pressing through top side of the palm and tips of the fingers. Close down your armpits like you were squeezing a water balloon. Points of your elbows pointing towards the feet. And your gaze is towards the lap or the thighs. Repeating the affirmation for downward facing dog. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Very different than the inner affirmation, I am struggling to hold this pose. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Respecting the body when you need to come down. We're going to hold the pose for several more moments if it's available in your body, but when you need to rest, come right into child's pose. Don't push yourself to the point of fatigue, but feel the liberty to inquire right to the threshold of your practice. Forehead coming down to the ground, all paths lead to child's pose. Arms can be extended long for child's pose, or if you find it more comfortable and it doesn't cause you to bear weight on the back of the neck or the top of the head, you can wrap your hands behind your body. Good. Nice deep breathing here. I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. If you've heard these affirmations before, it's truly an invitation to say them for the very first time and to feel them as an embodied present moment experience. I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. Our minds can hold such a vice grip on the physical body. And to me, this affirmation, it's like taking off a shoe that was too tight, that you've been wearing around all day, just a breath of fresh air. Centering in to your inner haven of peace. Now, when you're ready to rise, let it be gradual and gentle. If arms are extended, start drawing them towards the knees. We're going to round our back right into cat pose, looking towards the lap. Come on the tips of the fingers, looking towards the belly. Let's articulate the whole spine here. So when you begin to descend, start by sending hands down onto the ground. So palms, go ahead and bend the elbows and dip the nose really low. And then when you inhale into your cow pose, pull on heels of the hands towards the knees and extend the low spine. Good. Let's go like we're sitting back into child's pose and then change your mind. Round the low back, through the mid back, into the upper, and peel on the tips of the fingers. You're in cat pose. So again, when you're ready and the breath dictates, send the exhale by peeking into child's, leave the nose low, and then slide up, pulling on heels of the hands, just to keep the low spine long. Crown of the head lifts. Good. And then sitting back to relieve yourself, tuck the tail first and move the awareness up the spine until you get to the very top, looking to your lap. And then take another few rounds of this. This is a great way to build awareness of your spine. So when you're rolling into your cow pose, go ahead and lift the tail to the sky, arch through the low spine, pulling slightly on the hands, lifting through crown of the head. So practice in your own rhythm here. Rising into cat, you tuck tail, round through the low back, relax space between the shoulders and look to the belly. you'll find this beautiful, graceful place where you might move a little quicker, a little bit slower, but you can feel the awareness building up the spine. Interoception, awareness of the inner body, powerful sense faculty to build in your practice. And as it's natural, you can come back to your neutral position here, hands underneath shoulders. We're going to come into side plank, and there are many paths here, but we'll extend the right foot out behind us and settle heel down onto the ground. Your toes are going to point in the direction that your eyes are looking. So look over to the right side of the body. Right arm can reach up into the sky. If you want to take this pose a little bit stronger or strengthening of the body, you just very gently release the bottom leg out so that you're balancing on one arm, not for everyone's body. Make sure that you can maintain calm, abiding presence in whatever position you have chosen. The affirmation for this pose: the calm fire of my concentration burns all restlessness and distraction. The calm fire of my concentration burns all restlessness and all distraction. Good. When you're ready to lower down, very gradual, descending right hand back, closing right knee to the ground. Just take a few moments to free the hips. So you could just circle your hips back and around. When you're rolling up forward, tuck your tail underneath. So tuck and lifting the pelvis. And then when you push back, you're lifting the tail to the sky. So you can get this whole other dimension of freedom in the hips by moving in this way. And reverse the direction as you're ready. Just an intermediary inquiry. We're not here to stay. Breathing and sensing. Let's come into our side plank on the other side. Left foot goes all the way back, and you just set heel down, toes pointing to the side. Now it can be interesting to take the bottom hand and step it just one hand's length above where you normally would and send the arm up to the sky. This puts the balance in the muscle rather than in the joint. Nice deep breathing. Some of us will free the bottom foot out of the way for building strength. The calm fire of my concentration burns all restlessness and all distraction. Stay very focused in the pose, yet calm. The calm fire of my concentration burns all restlessness, all distraction. One more time with deep conviction. The calm fire of my concentration burns all restlessness, all distraction. When you are ready to come down, let it be smooth and gradual, nothing rushed, but just a calm extension of your inner atmosphere. We're going to slide the feet out of the way and come on to our backs. So nice and gentle as you are. It's nice to hold on the back sides of the thighs when you're descending. I personally like to round my back and slowly lower down until I touch down to the ground. Knees can come into the chest and you're in a little ball on your back. Just taking a little rocking side to side. You might even repeat the affirmation for child's pose. I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. So we're going to set for a gentle twisting pose and our inversion, and then we'll dive into the depths of our Shavasana. So the easiest version of a twist is send your feet down onto the ground and just very gently, you can roll your whole body off to the right side. So not just the knees, but the whole body. So both arms are gathering over on the side of the ground. So your knees are bent. Now, if you feel that you might like to explore by opening the left arm, slowly drawing it across, maybe to the heart, maybe shoulder. Other of us might make it down to the hips, and some of us open all the way out wide. Nice deep breath. Now, if this doesn't seem to get into the depth of the twist that you're desiring, come back to laying on the back. And before you enter the twist, lift your hips and set them way off to the left side, then come into your twisting pose off to the side. This will add a little extra twist to your inquiry. The affirmation for the supine twist: I open to the flow of God's life within me. I open to the flow of God's life within me. Feeling the area at the base of the skull, top of the spine, the medulla, open wide to receive that higher consciousness, the supreme, the unconditional loving presence. Letting it wash away any pretense, any fixed idea of who we are, like a great spring melt washing away the debris that has collected in the riverbed. I open to the flow of God's life within me. And gentle as you're ready, start by retracting the left arm. So wherever it's been extended to, reach it back over to the right side. And this will give you a little bit of an easier time rolling back onto the back. So you're laying on the back with knees bent. So to come to the other side, very simply just roll the knees over to the left, roll the whole body until both arms are gathering. Remember, if you want a little more in your twist, lift the hips up and swing them out over to the right side, then begin to roll onto your side. The function of gathering both arms to one side assures relaxation in the legs. Now, if you feel that you're desiring a deeper twist in the pose, begin to draw the right hand maybe to the shoulder, maybe to the heart, to the right shoulder. Some of us maybe to the hip. And the inevitable extension goes out to the opposite direction. If your body allows you to look in the opposite direction of your knees, then you might investigate this inquiry. But remember, your spine is like a garden hose. And if we kink it by forcing a posture, we restrict that flow of energy in the body. Better to choose a gentler version. Nice deep breathing. I open to the flow of God's life within me. Let's say at the point between the two eyebrows, I open to the flow of God's life within me. Let's all say it together so that we build strength, we build resonance in this field of consciousness that we are all sharing together. I open to the flow of God's life within me. Again, I open to the flow of God's life within me. Let's say one round inwardly. I open to the flow of God's life within me. And one final round, looking inward and upward to the point between the two eyebrows. I open to the flow of God's life within me. If the eyes haven't closed already, let them close down. Keep the consciousness sharp and allow the body to soften deeply into the pose. Even before we begin to think of exiting the pose, feel the expansion in your awareness beginning to develop. Let's reach energy from the spine to the limbs, inviting with breath and intention the right arm out of its extended position and back over to the side. When you're ready, roll onto the back and we'll take our final gentle inversion. So for most of us, it will be bridge pose, feet down onto the ground, knees parallel to one another. And you just lift the hips enough that maybe you can sneak your fists underneath that space. Weight is on the upper back. If you have a blanket that you can fold and settle hips onto, feel free. One other important note here is that if the spine feels like it's gathering tension or it's tightening, which sometimes happens when it's deeply extended, just wave your knees side to side and breathe calmly, like windshield wipers, one side to the other. Just a protective function of your body. And then come into your bridge pose. Some of us want to keep the hips lifted and we interlace fingers and wrap the shoulders underneath the chest. You're most welcome to stay lifted. Just try not to activate the body too much. Keep the awareness as the focus. The affirmation for Setu Bandhasan: I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. Giving your every experience to the divine, whether it be joy or bliss, whether it be great struggle and challenge. But slowly lower the hips down. And again, if you feel gathering sensation in the base of the spine, just wave the knees side to side and breathe deeply. It'll flush any tension out of the low spine. We're going to come into Shavasana as you're ready. So the legs will extend nice and long, one at a time, towards the top side of your mat. If you have a blanket, now's a great time to find little instruments of warmth. If you have socks or a sweater. If you like an eye mask, you can use one. If you don't have one and you want one, use maybe the arm of a sweatshirt. So the blanket not only serves the function of maintaining heat in the body, but there is an insulation of our energies as we prepare ourselves in this little cocoon of Shavasana. So let's draw a double inhalation and lightly tense the whole body. So we'll do it together. Double inhale and then double exhale and release. Try to get into the whole body. Double inhale. So feet, ankles, calves, knees, hips, arms, and then releasing. One last time, light tension through the body. Squeezing up into the belly and the heart and throat, even muscles, crown of the head, and then release. Palms facing up in Shavasana. Let your ankles naturally turn outward if they do. And like a rocket ship breaking through the atmosphere, soar your awareness right to the point between the two eyebrows and break free of attachment to the earthly body. Let yourself be freed, weightless in the space of your being. We'll have silent Shavasana. Gently recall the awareness back with the inner mantra at the point between the two eyebrows. Om Christ bliss. Om Christ bliss. Om Christ bliss. Om Christ bliss. Centering awareness into the spine. Feel boundless energy radiating to every cell of your body, out into the extremities, up into the brain. I awake in thy light. I am joyful. I am free. I awake in thy light. I am joyful. I am free. Let's invite some movement back to the body, the physical body, anyway, by articulating the hands and the feet in little awakenings. Keep looking inward and upward. Eventually, you might extend arms overhead along the earth, extending through tips of toes and tips of fingers. Be drawing a few conscious breaths, and eventually knees will come towards the chest. And then we'll roll ourselves off to the right side. So we're going to pass right through this little position back to our seated pose. Try to let the head be the last part of the body to rise as you sort of peel yourself from the ground. If your eyes can remain closed, this will benefit your practice, and we'll get into our nice comfortable seated pose. Feel free to move the muscle of the glutes out of the way so that you can feel the two anchor points of the sits bones really firm on the earth. If you need to sit up on a blanket, this can help to relax the pelvis. We're going to turn hands facing up on the lap. And as is comfortable, gently retract the hands towards the top side of the thigh where the torso and the thigh connect and the hip. Elbows slightly drawn behind the body. Free the solar plexus to rise upward, heart encouraged by that lifting. Inner gaze to the point between the two eyebrows. Let's listen to this prayer poem in our closing here by Paramhansa Yogananda. Flood me with thy omnipresent love, O fountain of love. Flood the lowlands of our love for home and family with thy omnipresent love. O mighty source of all our rivers of desire, teach us not to cut ourselves off from thee, hunting on the dry sands of sense satisfaction. Love is our soul's birthright. We demand now that all the rivers of our cravings be redirected through valleys of humility, eager self-sacrifice, and concern for others, until reinforced by thy torrential blessings, they merge in the ocean of all fulfillment in thee. Bless us that the rivulets of our sympathy, affection, and love lose not themselves in the sands of dreary selfishness. Let the little lonely, separately moving streamlets of our love, which come from thee, merge at last in the vastness of thy perfect love. Just taking a moment of silence here. Let's rub the palms together. Just send waves of Om out into the world for the upliftment of all souls. Pray for their well-being. We'll sound Om together for 3 rounds. Deep breath to begin. Om. Om. Hands back together in front of the heart's altar. We bow to that place within us that is divine, that is loving, kind, and wise under all circumstances. We honor that place in each other and in all souls around the world, throughout the cosmos, by saying Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you all very much for joining today and this morning.